Welcome back to our deep dive series brought to you by the Spartan Cafe app.
Great to be here.
Today, we're jumping into something I think we can all relate to: confidence
hmm
and personal empowerment.
Yeah, specifically through the lens of Arthur J. Rutledge in his work.
Exactly. We've got his book, 11 Pillars of Confidence: Build and Lead an Empowered You.
Right. And also some really interesting articles and interviews
hmm
from Vertical Mindset Group, Brains Magazine, LA Tribune.
And even from the Spartan Cafe platform itself, there's a piece called Shine On, Unleash Your Inner Power with Arthur J. Rutledge.
So quite a bit to draw from.
Definitely. So the goal today, our sort of mission, if you will, is to really pull out actionable insights.
Things you can actually use, yeah, to build that solid, unshakable confidence and, unlock your potential.
We want to cut through the noise, find what really works.
Okay, so where do we start?
Mm,
Understanding Rutledge himself seems important, his journey.
good point. He grew up in Detroit,
Yeah,
and apparently he had this entrepreneurial drive from, well, a really young age.
already founded his first business when he was just 19.
19. That says a lot right there.
It really does.
Yeah.
And, the fact that he decided to leave university to chase those entrepreneurial dreams,
Yeah, that shows some serious decisiveness. And resilience, probably, early on.
definitely. It seems like a big motivator for him was seeing other people stuck,
Stuck how?
like struggling with self-doubt, uncertainty,
Hmm.
that feeling that holds you back.
Uh-huh. We've all been there.
Right. And he wanted to create more than just like rah-rah motivation. He aims for a practical guide.
Something to actually bridge that gap between potential and, well, believing in that potential.
Exactly. Which leads us namely into his book, The 11 Pillars of Confidence.
Okay, so what's the core idea there? Is it just positive thinking?
Not really. It focuses much more on tangible tools. Mindset shifts, sure, but practical ones.
Like what kind of elements?
He really emphasizes courage, persistence,
Hmm.
sticking with things, self-belief, obviously, and creativity.
Creativity. Interesting. How does that tie into confidence?
Well, finding solutions, thinking outside the box, that inherently builds confidence in your ability to handle things, right?
Makes sense. And the book did pretty well, didn't it?
Oh, yeah. Bestseller on Barnes & Noble, Amazon. I saw it was ranked near Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich.
Wow, that's some serious company. Especially in the ethics category, apparently.
Yeah, that suggests a certain depth, doesn't it? It's not just surface level stuff.
And it feels like his advice comes from real experience, not just theory.
Absolutely. That's
What?
key. He's lived it. He understands confidence from the inside out through his own challenges.
Right. So it's not about being loud or boastful.
No, not at all. He defines true confidence as this, like deep inner knowing, a trust in your own value, even when things go wrong.
Even amidst setbacks.
Exactly. He even shares some personal stories to illustrate this. I think there was one about dancing for Aaliyah.
Really? Okay, tell me more. That sounds like peak confidence on the surface.
Right. But he uses it to show the internal struggles. Like, even people who look confident externally can be battling things inside.
That's such a relatable point, the difference between outward appearance and inner reality.
Yeah. And his argument is that outward confidence doesn't last if it's not built on something solid.
A strong foundation. Like what?
Rooted in your values
Mhm.
and making sure your actions actually line up with those values. Integrity, basically.
Okay, so living in alignment. That feels authentic.
It is. You can't really sustain confidence if you feel like you're faking it or compromising who you are.
So that's where the 11 pillars come in, as the framework for building that foundation.
Precisely. It covers a lot of ground: self-awareness, discipline, being adaptable, emotional intelligence.
hmm
It's quite comprehensive.
Sounds like real self-development work, not just quick affirmations.
Definitely. And he actually challenges some common beliefs,
Yeah.
like perfectionism.
Oh, interesting, because often we're told to strive for perfection, right? High standards.
Yeah, but Rutledge argues it can actually get in the way of confidence.
Huh?
Well, chasing perfection often creates this intense fear of failure. You know,
Mhm.
if you think you have to be perfect, any mistake feels huge.
Totally. It can paralyze you. You don't want to even try if you might mess up.
Exactly. And that fear stops you from taking risks.
Hmm.
But risk-taking, even small ones, is where growth happens. It's how you learn and build resilience.
So mistakes aren't failures, they're data points, learning opportunities.
Kind of, yeah. Essential steps for growth, which ultimately feeds confidence. It's a big mindset shift.
It really is. Okay, what else? You mentioned another key concept, deservability.
Yes, deservability, but maybe not in the way we usually think about it.
How does he frame it? Sometimes it can sound a bit like entitlement.
Right. But he sees it differently. It's not something you're just given or feeling you magically have. It's something you earn
They're earned how?
through practice, through preparation, through consciously aligning your mind, your body, your spirit with your actions. You demonstrate your capability to yourself.
Ah, so it's about putting in the work, building competence, and then feeling like you deserve the results, rather than just wishing for them.
Precisely. Society sometimes suggests it's inherent, but he stresses the role of effort and intentional action in building that deep self-worth.
It loops back to that strong inner foundation again, doesn't it? Confidence built on effort feels more solid.
Absolutely. And Rutledge isn't just writing books about this stuff.
Right, he's a speaker too,
Yeah.
and a coach.
Yeah, works with individuals, executives, seems quite sought after.
And his leadership style, I gather, is less about top-down command.
Very much so. It's focused on ethical, servant-based leadership, guiding, enabling others, helping them find solutions.
That feels more empowering, doesn't it? Helping people tap into their own abilities.
Totally. There's a great quote from him, something like, "Leaders create a way with their why in mind.
And know how to change their pain into purpose. Yes, I saw that.
Leaders find and refine ways to enable others to shine." It really captures that focus on purpose and empowerment.
Enabling others to shine. I like that. And speaking of enabling and consistent action, that Brains Magazine article, Keys to Unlock Consistency.
Oh, yes. That was really insightful. He uses a fantastic analogy.
The New York City subway, I found that so vivid.
Didn't you? He contrasts the subway, this reliable, mission-driven system that just keeps running day in, day out.
Yeah, delivering people where they need to go regardless of chaos above ground.
Exactly. He contrasts that with the human mind, which, let's face it, can get easily derailed by doubts, distractions, past stuff.
Like our own personal train getting stuck.
Right. So he offers these instruments to help us stay on track, like the subway. The first one is awareness.
And that involves things like mind-clearing routines, getting focused.
Yes, actively creating mental space. Staying grounded, especially when things are tough. Knowing what you can control and what you can't.
And letting go of the negative self-talk, shame, blame, doubt.
Crucial. Letting that go to connect with your actual self. It's about shifting from feeling like life happens to you to feeling like you're in the driver's seat.
Taking control of your responses. Okay, what's the next instrument?
Self-belief. And he links this strongly to imagination.
Imagination. How so?
He sees imagination as the bridge between possibility and reality.
Yeah.
Like your purpose starts as an idea, right? An imagined future.
So it's not just daydreaming, it's an active tool for building belief.
Exactly. He quotes Mark Twain, "You can't depend on your judgment when your imagination is out of focus."
Interesting.
And he argues that challenges are actually opportunities to stretch that imagination, to find solutions and overcome self-doubt by getting creative.
Okay, so awareness, self-belief, what's third?
Consistency itself. And he tells a story about using the Clubhouse app. Not endorsing the app, he clarifies, but using it as an example
An example of?
of the power of just showing up, consistently providing value.
The cumulative effect of small, regular actions.
Right. He found that by being there, contributing, he was helping others develop their potential. He says consistency influences in 3 ways. It shows you care.
Okay.
It leads to more authentic interactions because people get used to you being there, building trust.
Makes sense.
And that regular engagement builds integrity. It proves you follow through.
Reliability builds trust. Got it.
And he quotes John C. Maxwell, "Motivation gets you going, but discipline keeps you growing." Consistency is that discipline, and a kind of zest for life where your effort becomes your story.
Love that. Okay, the fourth instrument.
Preparation, building the capacity to deliver when the time comes.
So doing the groundwork before the opportunity arrives.
Yes, not just relying on instinct, but using critical thinking, shaping your behavior beforehand so you're genuinely ready.
And he mentions the Boy Scout motto, right? Be prepared.
He does. He says he didn't fully get its depth until later in life. It's not just about practical stuff, but being ready for the unexpected, trusting your instincts, being mentally sharp, morally sound.
It's a whole state of being, really. Holistic readiness.
Exactly. It all ties together. Awareness helps you prepare. Belief fuels consistency. Preparation builds confidence.
And it underlines that quote from Heather Monahan.
Right. Success takes preparation, which is why confidence isn't given, it is learned. It must be developed through experience and hard work.
It really hammers home that confidence is an active process, something you build.
Definitely. And Rutledge constantly brings back to looking inward, remembering challenges don't define your worth. That potential is always there.
Cultivating self-belief, resilience, adaptability.
Exactly. Which, brings us to resources that can help with that journey.
Good transition, because this feels like a perfect spot to mention the Spartan Cafe app again, our sponsor.
Ah, yes, the first social app you can talk to. Still intrigued by that.
It really is different. It's designed as this pocket ecosystem for creatives and entrepreneurs. The focus is genuinely on passion and ideas, not just likes.
And the talking part.
You can have actual verbal chats with AI consultants.
Seriously. About what?
Things like funding, marketing help, business strategy, the real nuts and bolts. Plus, it's a space for networking without that high pressure feel, just fostering collaboration.
That sounds incredibly useful. A supportive community plus practical tools.
And guess who's a subscriber and values the connections there?
Let me guess. Arthur Rutledge.
Bingo! He finds real value in the community. So you get those voice chats with AI, you network with motivated people. It aligns perfectly with everything we've been discussing.
That's a strong endorsement. So how can listeners check it out?
Super easy. Just search Spartan Cafe on the iOS App Store or Google Play for Android. Download it.
And is there an introductory offer?
Yes. Your first week is completely free, so you can explore everything, see if it fits, no risk.
A free week. That's great. Definitely worth checking out if you're focused on growth and connection. We should remind people again later.
Will do. Okay, so back to Rutledge's wider impact. It goes beyond the books and coaching, right?
Oh, for sure. He got a big feature in the Los Angeles Tribune. They called his book a redefinition of the mindset revolution,
I praise. What was their angle?
emphasizing that idea of confidence as a skill you build, not just something you have or don't have.
Which fits everything we've discussed. And he writes for Brains magazine, too.
Yep, he's an executive contributor there, sharing expertise on leadership, confidence, mindset. It shows his standing in the field.
And he's won awards, too, hasn't he?
He has CRA Global Awards, the Brains 500 Global Award, recognitions of his actual impact.
It's clear he's really committed to this work, empowering people ethically.
Absolutely.
Hmm.
So wrapping things up, what are the big takeaways here?
Well, it really strikes me that building confidence, reaching your potential, it's not a destination, is it? It's an ongoing journey.
Totally. A process of understanding your worth, committing to goals, taking action, being prepared.
And Rutledge's work offers a really solid roadmap for that journey. The pillars, the focus on consistency, it gives you concrete things to work on.
And that concept of deservability is worth reflecting on personally. Are my actions actually aligned with what I want? Am I earning that feeling?
Or the subway analogy. Am I letting old doubts stall me out, or am I cultivating that resilient, forward-moving mindset?
And his core message, shine on. It's simple but powerful. A reminder that your best self, your inner power, it's already there. You just need to let it out.
Absolutely. And if you're looking for a community and tools to help you on that journey, definitely check out the Spartan Cafe app.
Right. On iOS and Android, search Spartan Cafe. And remember, that first week is free, a great way to test it out.
So for everyone listening, maybe take a moment. What really resonated from this deep dive?
Yeah, what's one small thing, just one little step you could take today to build that confidence muscle, strengthen consistency? This chat is just the start.
Exactly. So the final thought we'll leave you with is this. What's one small, actionable step you can take today to step more fully into your potential and let that inner power shine?